Hello everybody, and welcome back to an amazing E2E Expert to Experts. And as you know, today is Thursday, and as I promised you, I have an amazing guest who's gonna do an amazing workshop. Okay, how many of you? I cannot see you because now we're not live, but I can see your responses on the comments. How many of you right now would like to know how to create a constant monthly cash flow by mastering and knowing how to work in the world of stocks and investments? How many of you would like to have a side income constantly coming in regularly every month? Okay, if this is you, you are in the right place. And do me a favor, get a notebook, as I am doing right now. Okay, get a notebook, get a blank page, okay, ready to take some notes, because today is going to be a workshop. Grab a pen, grab a glass of water, and click on the button and share this video with your friends, share this video with your relatives, with your colleagues, with your team. Share this video and make sure that you can be a force for good and blessing other people with what you're going to do today. As I told you, on Monday, we had Resh, and Resh was there to give us an insight. And basically, we had this interview where we were asking him several questions, okay? And the most important thing that I remember that interview, which struck into my heart, is that, yes, your network is your net worth, but the value you add to your network, okay, determines your net worth. So that was such important and such a big aha moment for me, okay? Now, for those of you who have been there on Monday, you can even drop down in the comments and tell us what has been your biggest takeaway from the interview, okay? And please don't forget to write down which part of the world are you watching us right now live. Because Resh is right now in Singapore. It is exactly, I think it's about 3 in the morning right now in Singapore, and is here right now to serve you. And let me tell you one thing, Resh is not alone today. He's coming along with his team, okay? There are other 2 people, one on the back end supporting us right now with this slide, because I remind you, we are live. We are live. And then Suresh is gonna get more into details and then give you an amazing opportunity, an amazing gift at the end. So let me just bring them on screen right now quickly. So let's make some noise and let's welcome Mr. Resh from Singapore and his partner Suresh. There we go. You're welcome, guys. You are on screen. You are live right now. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Moses, for having us. We really, truly appreciate it, man.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's so courageous and so amazingly impressive what you guys are doing. At 3 a.m. in the morning, you are here for us. And this is such a big honor and incredible value that you are adding for us. So what should we expect from this workshop today?
All right, so let me get started. Let me get rolling. So today we're gonna deep dive into the world of stocks and options. We're gonna be actually chatting about exactly what we mentioned. How do you create a consistent profit from the stock market? How can you do it with certainty? How do you actually invest with certainty, right? So that's exactly what we're going to be sharing. Suresh is a dear brother of mine, right? Like, about 3 years ago, he came to learn from me, and he's mastered the system. He's currently built a portfolio from the very, very beginning. So today, what's going to happen is both me and Suresh will actually be sharing our journeys, how we actually started from the bottom to actually build income consistently through the stock market and through options as well. So Moses, that's what we're going to be sharing. It's going to be an exciting time. There's going to be plenty of case studies, things they can actually apply to start making money immediately, man. So I'm looking forward to that.
Amazing. So let's start on.
Yeah,
okay, Right, so guys, so first of all, before we get started, I just want to acknowledge every one of you for joining us tonight. Okay, so just bear with us if there's any kind of lag or whatnot, because we are in Singapore right now, and there might be some internet issues, but let's get started. Let me introduce a bit more about myself, and I'll get straight into it. Right, so for Moses and Resh, thank you guys for taking your time to invite all these people, right? So let me get started. So I'm just going to share screen right now. So just give me a second. Okay. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay, so guys, so tonight I'm just going to talk about how can you create, right, and generate consistent profits from the stock market. And the most important thing is you want to invest with certainty. Now when it comes to investing, a lot of people, they don't know what they're actually doing, right? So tonight I'm going to focus about how can you invest with certainty. And just a small introduction about myself, and my name is Reshveen Rajendran, and I'm actually a CEO of a company in Singapore called Pride, right? And I've been investing in the stocks and options for the last 3 to 4 years, right? So let me actually explain to you, right, what this is about tonight. Okay, so first thing first, I can't really see your comments, so just keep the comments coming in. The first thing is, some of you actually might have this pre-notion, right? If I want to invest, do I need a lot of capital? Guys, let me tell you something, right? For you to get started, you don't really need that kind of capital, right? And this is what exactly I did, 3 years back, right? I was just like most of you guys. When I started off, I didn't have much capital, right? I didn't have much capital, and the next thing was I don't know what I was doing, and I didn't have any clue what am I gonna do, right? But not to worry, guys. Just like this, 3 years back, I attended one of these workshops, just like this, right? I attended one of the workshops, and that actually helped me get started, right? That's what I want to do for you guys tonight. I'm going to share with you a lot of powerful information. So make sure you listen carefully and take down notes, right? So, and what happened after that, attending this workshop, is I continued to invest my money into learning and honing this skill, right, over time, right? And what happened as a result, over the last 3 years, my portfolio as of last year, it grew 80%, right? Guys, if you think 80% is crazy, right, if you think it's possible or if you think it's impossible, type in your comments, right? Let me look at it later, right? Just type it in. And what did I do, right, is I keep refining my skill set over the years, right? And how did I do that, right? Basically, right, learning from the best, right? Like Reg mentioned, a couple of years back, I actually went to him, I learned from him, and I didn't just stop there, right? I keep learning from the best, right? If you see at the bottom, there's Mary Buffett, right? She's the ex-daughter-in-law of Warren Buffett. I had the privilege to learn from her directly also. Reg also learned from her, right? And we learn from a lot of veterans, and this is how we hone our skills, right? But today, right, I want to make sure I deliver all this knowledge I have, right? I'm going to compress it for you, and I'm going to give it to you as much as possible, all right? And the second thing, right, I had the privilege, right, to travel all around the world together with Resh and share my knowledge with him. Both of us went over the world, right? South Africa, India, Malaysia, of course, Singapore, right? Japan, right? We traveled and we shared the knowledge with all these people around the world, right? And I want to do the same for you guys tonight. I know you guys are tuning in virtually, but I just want you to pay attention and you will benefit the same, okay? But what am I trying to tell you guys is this, right? Before you earn, right, you always have to learn, right? Just like this. If you want to drive a car, you need to learn how to drive the car, right? You just simply can't get onto the vehicle and start driving, right? You will get hurt. So the most important thing, if you want to earn consistently and safely, the most important thing is you need to learn. Because I learned, I'm able to earn, right? But the most important thing is you don't simply want to learn anything anyhow, right? You want to learn the right things, and this is where most people fail when it comes to execution, right? A lot of people fail here because they don't execute what they learn, right, guys? I want you to understand one thing. Knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power, right? So type it in, right? Type it in, applied knowledge is power. And I want to make sure that I teach you the right things and I help you execute, because that is the part where most people get stuck, right? Once they learn, they don't know what to do next, right? It all comes down to execution, right? Of course, before I move on any further, right? If you know what this is, right? If you know what this is, please type it in the comment, right? If you don't know, it's fine, right? If you have read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, right? They'll talk about this 4 quadrant, right? Which is the EBSI quadrant, right? If you notice on the left side, you will see employee and self-employed, right? On the right side, you'll see business owners and investors, guys. Now, if you're an employee, self-employed, business owner, or investor, then type in the comments. Let me see which category you belong to, okay? Now, just like most of you guys, a couple years back, right, when I started off, I was an employee. There's nothing wrong being an employee, but what didn't make sense to me was I was working very hard day in, day out. I was clocking the hours, but I wasn't enjoying the fruits of my labor. Somebody sitting on top was enjoying them, right? And it didn't make sense to me, right? And the thing is, the people on the left side, they are always trading time for money, right? Now, if you are trading time for money, then it's something for you to reflect, right? Because here's the thing, if you don't put in the hours, you're not going to get paid. Very simple, right? And the worst is, if you're self-employed, you can't even enjoy your holiday peacefully, right? Because you constantly have to worry about what's happening in your business, right? Or are the people taking care of you? Or worse still, your business can't even run without you, right? However, the people on the right side, right, business owners and investors, they are smart. What they do is they make money work for them. They are not trading time for money. This is where we want to get to, right? Now, guys, before I move on, let me ask you this one important question, right? A, do you want to work for money, or B, do you want money to work for you, right? Which is it, A or B? Type it in the comments. Let me see, right? Type it in the comments, right? A or B, right? Now, most of us obviously want money to work for us, right? We don't want to be working for money throughout, right? So we obviously answer is going to be B, right? We want money to work for us. Now, moving on, going back to the EBS quadrant, right? Now, let me ask you this, guys. What differentiates the people on the left from the right, right? What differentiates that? If you know what differentiates, or if you can make a guess, type it in the comment, right? Type in the comment, right? So for me, I was very curious. What is the top 1% of the world? What are they doing? What do they know that we do not know, right? That is giving them the competitive advantage in creating wealth. I wanted to know. I was very curious what this 1% is doing, right? I wanted to go and find out. And how are they, generating wealth so like on a big scale, right? I wanted to know. And here's the thing, guys. What separates us from them is this thing called, right, the knowledge gap, right? Now, if you think it's possible, if you acquire knowledge, if you think it's possible for you to go from the left to the right, then type it is possible, right? Type in possible in the comments. Let me see, all right? Type in possible, right? If you think it's possible, right, what you need to acquire is the knowledge. You want to close the gap in knowledge, right? So that you can go from the left side to the right side, and you stop trading your time for money, and you make money work for you, right? That's what you want to do, right? Now, here's the thing, guys. That's what I told you, right? If you have lesser capital or small capital, right, it's fine. Because what I want to do is I want to teach you this skill where you can grow your portfolio over time and grow your wealth over time, right? So this is what I want to do for you, right? This is going to be the focus of tonight. Second thing, right? If you're equally clueless like how I was many years back, it's fine, right? Because what I'm going to do for you is I want to transfer some knowledge, right? I want to do some knowledge transfer so you have an idea of what you can potentially be doing, right, in creating your wealth, right? But most importantly, guys, I want to make sure I save your time and money, right? I've done the mistakes, I've done the homework, I've spent the money, I've spent the hours, right, in learning and mastering this skill, right? So I want to compress everything for you, like what I mentioned earlier, and I want to give it to you, right? But in order for me to give you this value, right, all this knowledge, right, I ask of you of 3 important P's, right? Number 1, right, since this is done virtually, right, it's online, right, I require your patience, right? If there's any technical glitch, or the internet goes off, or maybe there's some lag, since we are located in Singapore, right, I require your patience. Whatever it is, we'll get through it, and we'll make sure I deliver as much as possible, right? So I require your patience, right? And number 2, I require your participations, right? I know there are some of you here, right, maybe from all over the world, different time zones, right? But if you want to really learn something, then I want you to play full out, right? And it's not just a one-way interaction, so it's two-way interaction. So I know that you're participating, and it makes me feel like giving more and more value, right? So it's also to help me, right, help you, right? So participate 100%, and I guarantee you'll learn something. And that's one way you're going to retain information much, much better, right? And the third P that I want you to do is I want you to be present throughout, because I'm going to be sharing with you a lot of powerful information, right, over the next 60 to 90 minutes, right? And I just want you to be present throughout, right? And I promise you, if you do all these 3 things, right, I will give you an opportunity. Now, I'm going to be upfront. I have something to offer you, but that's completely optional, right? But most importantly, whether you take up the offer or not, I want you to listen, and I want you to benefit, most importantly, right? If that's okay, type in okay, and we will move ahead, right, guys? Okay, now before we get started, let me ask you this one question. Is investing a must or a want, right? If you think it's a must, type in must. If you think it's a want, type in want. And I will explain to you why investing, right, in this time and age is not a want anymore. It's a must, right? And that is because of this one quote that Warren Buffett said, right? If you don't find a way to make money, right, while you sleep, you're going to work until you die, right? I believe nobody wants to do this, right? I believe nobody wants to keep working until, right, you can't even retire peacefully, right? Nobody wants to do this. So let me explain to you what this quote actually means in more elaboration, right? So I'm going to use this thing called a financial timeline to explain to you how this actually works, right? So I'm just going to use the average time life expectancy of a human, right? I'm just going to use this in Singapore context since I've been using this, right? So like the first 20-25 years of a life, right, young adulthood or whatnot, right, probably we are growing up, we are trying to learn, we're trying to find our passion in life, probably not really making that much of money, right? These 25-20 years, depending on where you are in your which country or which part of the world you are, right, you're probably spending the first 2 decades of your life trying to figure out what you want to do, right? Not really making that kind of money, right? And what happens is the next, right, 40 years, you will be working actively to make money. Now, guys, ask yourself this, right? Even if putting so much time and working very hard, do you have more than enough, or do you have barely enough to survive your month ends, right? Ask yourself this important question, right? If you find yourself, you're still struggling, right, then here comes the scary part. Even if active income for 40 years, you're still struggling, what's going to happen for the next 20 years? Let's say you live up to 85 and you retire at 65 years old. What do you think is going to happen, right? Without active income now this is where the struggle starts. So before that thing happens, right, you actually want to prepare yourself, right? That's why Warren Buffett said that, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to work until you die, right? Nobody wants that. So this is why, number one, you must learn to invest. It's a must. And the second thing is actually this, right? It's this thing called inflation. Okay, so I'm just let's look at just US inflation rate. It's about 1.5, 1.3, 1.5, that kind of range, right? But let me ask you this, guys. If a coffee today, right, which is $1 in whichever part of the world, right? Let's just take US dollar, $1, right? If the $1 coffee today increases by 10 cents tomorrow, right? How much inflation is that? That's already 10% inflation rate, right? So when they tell you, the inflation is 1.5%, right? It's just average stats, right? But actually, it's not true, right? Your inflation usually is much, much higher. Now, if your inflation rate is already so much, right? And how much interest are you getting if you put your money in the bank, right? If you put your money in the bank, let's say you put $1,000 in the bank, how much are you getting at the end of the year, right? Not much, right? You're not going to get much, right? So for US, it's about 0.3 as of now. Right, as of now, the interest is not a lot. So if you put in $1,000, you're probably going to get $3. Is that even worth it? Right? Ask yourself. Right. So here's the thing, guys. If your inflation rate is 1.5%, right, and your interest is 0.3%, what do you think when you simply put your money in the bank and trying to save? Right. I tell you, your money is going to lose value. Right. And that's why if you simply save, you become poor. Right. Type that in the comments, guys. Simply saving equals poor. Right. So what you want to do is you want to save to invest, right? Most importantly, that's what you want to do. You just don't want to save because your $1 or $10 or $100 today will not be worth the same 5 years, 10 years down the road, right? If you've already experienced this, you know what I'm talking about, right? And you want to prepare before anything happens, and you want to pick up a skill to beat inflation. Most importantly, right? You want to beat inflation, right? Now, here's the fourth thing, right, which is compound interest. So I told you, like, if you simply save, right, compound interest is going to work against you, right? It's going to keep eating into the value of your money. So what you want to do is you want to use compound interest to your advantage, right? So let me share with you this calculator, right? This calculator, let's say you start with $1,000, you invest $1,000, you can make 10%, right? A minimum of 10% annually compounded, right? And you save $500 every month, right? In whichever currency, whichever country, whichever currency, right? It's just number, right? And you invest for 30 years, right? And this is what you will see in your brokerage, a conservative number for if you invest for 30 years, right? Now, here's the thing, guys. Most of us probably, depending on which part of the country you are, let's say let's using Singapore as example, right? Most Singaporeans, when they work, if a 3K, $3,000 monthly salary, if they work for 30 years, they probably earn about $1 million in their entire lifetime. However, right, they don't see this money in their bank account. The reason because there's always money coming in and going out, right? They don't see this kind of money, right? So if you do this, right? This is one way, at least, right, help you secure your retirement, or you can retire comfortably, right? Now, the thing is, I cannot do this for every single one of you, so I'm going to share with you a free resource where you can go and do this calculation by yourself, right? You can go to this calculator site.com, right? Go to compound interest calculator and you can put in the numbers. You can just calculate and find out what is best for you, right? It's just a free resource. You can go and do your number, right? Because the most important thing, right, you want to create wealth, the important thing, the first thing you need to do is you need to have a plan, right? You need to start planning, right? And this is something that can help you. It's a very simple tool. You can go and calculate and find out what's your number, okay? Based on what you want to achieve, okay? Now, here's a question, right? Since tonight, right, I'm going to talk about, how to invest with certainty, right? The most important thing is we already established that we need to have some form of passive income, right? We just don't want to depend on active income for whatever reason it might be, right? For some unforeseen reasons also, you want to be prepared, right? You want to have an umbrella for rainy days, right? You want to be prepared. But here's the thing, there are many forms of ways you can create passive income. But tonight I want to talk about one of the safest and easiest way. So what is the safest and easiest way, right? So many passive income, you can, if you have a property, you can buy property, let it rent it out, or you can even rent out your car, or you can find other ways to create passive income, right? But for tonight, I want to talk about the safest and easiest way, which is investing in stocks, right? This easiest and simplest way for you to get started for any person, right? This is the simplest way they can start with investing, right? Not to worry about having a lot of capital or not, right? But the most common theme of investing is actually value investing, right? Now, what actually is value investing, right? Is actually buying great businesses at a reasonable price or a sensible price. Now, tonight, I'm not going to talk about value investing, right? But I need to share about value investing in order for me to share with you the most powerful thing that I'm going to talk about tonight. But you need to understand this if you're completely new to investing, and I want to expose you to the idea of investing first, right? To stocks. Now, like Warren Buffett said, price is what you pay, value is what you get. So I want you to remember this quote, guys. Price is what you pay, value is what you get, right? So let me move on first. What exactly, right, is a great business, right? So I'm just going to use a picture to explain, right, in a simple way as possible, right? So let's say this is a castle. Now, let me ask you this question. If anybody were to penetrate this castle, let's say we are in medieval times, there's no airplanes, there's no helicopter, all this stuff. We are in medieval times, right? There's no way for aerial attack. But let's say, right, if enemy wants to penetrate this castle, right, is it difficult or is it easy for them to attack, right? The answer would be, it will be much, much easier. Why? Because they can attack from any directions. However, right, if I upgrade the castle, right, say I take the same castle, I upgrade it, I put a moat around it, right, and I put in some crocodiles or whatnot, right, and the only way they're going to attack, right, is through the main breach or the main gate. Now automatically that becomes harder for enemies to penetrate the castle. The defenses of the castle has gone up tenfold, hundredfold, right? Now here's the thing. The same thing applies to business, right? And how does that relate to business, right? Is by this thing called the economic mode. When companies, right, when businesses have economic mode, right, they become much harder for competition, right, for competitors to take over their business, right? So one example of economic mode, right, is branding, right? If you realize, usually a company with a strong brand usually holds a larger market share compared to their competitors, right? So branding subconsciously, right, is ingrained in your thoughts, right? If let's say if I ask you to name me a soft drink company, right, what comes to your mind immediately, right? Type it in. What comes to your mind immediately? Most people will say Coke, some will say Pepsi, right? But here's the thing, guys. When you automatically think of it, what they have is actually they have control over your subconscious mind, right? They have a control of subconscious mind, and that you cannot put any money value on it, right? And this is, you might not even be spending on it, but let's say if you want to get something, if you want to get a soft drink, automatically your mind will think of it, right? And you'll be spending money on it even without realizing, right? There's a few examples of branding, right? Even like Starbucks, right? If you want to go and have coffee, probably that's where you go, or maybe just some place to chill, right? That's where you go. And the second thing, another example is actually licenses or intellectual properties, right? For example, if only Apple can produce iOS devices, right? Android cannot, right? If let's say McDonald's, if you want to open a McDonald's franchise, you need to get a license from McDonald's themselves, right? Or whichever you want to open a franchise for any other business out there, you need to get a license from them. You need to be approved by them, right? That's one way they control their business, right? And even like pharmaceutical companies, like for example Panadol, right? Only the company that made Panadol can sell them because they have a patent over for 17 years, right? These are some examples, right? Because when a company have this kind of barriers of economic mode, they automatically have a high barrier to entry. Anybody cannot come in and penetrate their business, right? This is an example of great business. I'm just scratching the surface here. There's a lot more, but for tonight, I'm just going to keep it very simple, all right, guys? Now, here's the next important question, okay? Can people still invest into great business and still lose money? Yes or no? If you think it's yes, type in yes. If you think it's no, type in no, right? And let me just explain to you, okay? People can still lose money even if they invest into great businesses. Why? Because they don't understand this thing called the investing profit matrix, right? Let me explain to you what it is, okay? So let's say you buy a great business with a strong moat. However, right, you go and buy it at an unreasonable price, right? So what is unreasonable price? If let's say intrinsic value of a company is $100, and what is the intrinsic value is basically a rough valuation or estimation of how much the company is actually worth, right? So let's say intrinsic value is $100 and you end up paying $120. You're overpaying for that company. That is where you're going to lose a little, or you're going to wait for some time to make some money, right? Or worse, right? You buy a mediocre company with a weak moat, right? And you buy it when it's overvalued price, unreasonable price, and that's where you're going to end up losing money. And this is where a lot of people lose money because they don't understand this, right? However, on the other hand, if you manage to buy a great business with a strong moat at an undervalued price, right? Current price $80, IV is intrinsic value $100. You buy it undervalued, that's where you're going to make a lot of money, right? Or on the other hand, even if you buy a mediocre business at an undervalued price, you might lose a little, or you still might be able to make some money, right? So what I want to put across here, guys, always look for undervalued deals, right? When you find something undervalued, what do? You buy them, you grab them, right? That's what you want to do, okay? And you want to avoid paying something that is overvalued, right? Let me ask you this: if something is worth $1, right? Let's say a share is worth $1, does it mean it's cheap or is it overvalued, right? You need to understand the value of it, right? So let's say if a company, the share price is $1, but the actual intrinsic value only 50 cents, right? A lot of people think $1 is cheap and they will just go invest into it blindly without realizing the value, right? They are paying double. This is what Warren Buffett meant by price is what you pay, value is what you get. A company that can be, current price could be 200, right? You might seem the price is a lot, but actually, let's say the value of the company might be $400, right? Now you're buying at a 50% discount, right? That's why you are always want to focus on the value rather than the price. No. By simply investing in stocks, you only have about 25% chance, 1 out of 4 chances to get it right, right? And that is why when you see people when they invest in stocks, they always get burned because they don't understand, right? Okay, so let me just explain a bit more. Okay, so this is Warren Buffett, right? So Warren Buffett actually owns some of these companies, right? Amex, MasterCard, Visa, all these companies. Now, if you guys can guess what is the common theme between all these, what's the common thing between all these companies, type it in, right? But I'm just going to go ahead and share, right? These companies are payment gateway companies, right? Now, are these all strong companies? Right, definitely they are, right? And this price is about is a bit slightly outdated, right? But let's say if you want to buy right now, which company would you choose and why? Okay, now if you simply go and choose the lowest price, then probably you were not paying attention, right? I always say focus on the value rather than the price. 117 might be cheap, but maybe the value is not so much, right? Maybe the value is only $100, right? Now you're paying $17 more, right? So you always want to focus on the value, right? Now that might be a bit confusing, if you don't know the value, what should you do, right? So in this kind of case, right, what if I told you, right, if you can buy all the 3 companies, right, for just one price and without confusion, right? And how do you do that is by this thing called an ETF. What is an ETF? Is basically an exchange traded fund. It's a basket of stocks, right, in a similar sector or industry that's put together, right? So for all the payment gateway companies, the basket is called, the ETF is actually called iPay. Right, if you notice here, the ETF is called iPay, right? And let's say in 2019 you bought this stock, right? You bought this ETF, right? When the share price was $40. Now, guys, if you invest in the US stock market, right? Let's say you want to buy this stock at $40. How much capital do you need, right? Type it in. Right? How much capital do you think you need? Do you need $100? Do you need $1,000? Do you need $10,000 or $100,000? Right? Just type it in, right? I'm just going to go ahead and share, right? All you need is $40. Right? Because in the US, you can buy one single share, right? That's why I tell you, even if lesser capital or small capital is okay, right? You still can get started, right? You don't need much capital just for you to get started. I'm not even talking about making a lot of money. just for you to get started, get exposed, right? All you need is $40, right? Just for, let's say you want to buy iPay and you bought it at 2019 in February, right? Now, what happened, right? Let's say you bought it here, and what happened when last year, right, there was COVID, the market actually crashed. If you see in 2020, the market actually, the entire market went down, and even the ETF also went down, right? Now, here's what happens. Most people, when they see that kind of drops happening, they panic and sell away because they don't understand the value, right? They will panic and sell away. But if you understood the value, if you have bought it, right? If you have bought it there, right? If you have bought it here or here, right? This is roughly how much you would have made, right? About 2000 to 3008, right? In returns, right? Just for this, right? Let's say you buy 100 shares, that's how much you would have made, right? Now, guys, 40, 75%, is that good, right? Is the kind of returns good, right? If you think it's good, type in the chat, right? Type in the chat, is good, right? Now, what if I told you, right, there's something even more powerful than this can give you such returns in a shorter period of time, right? Now, if you want to know, then type in me, okay? Type in me, M-E, right? Now, here's the thing, and this, you made this in 1-2 years, 40, 75%, still not, it's a decent returns, right? Still decent returns. But here's the thing, stocks, the only way you're going to make money when the share price appreciates, right? So what can you do, right, to profit in whichever direction the market moves, right? And you use options, right? Options is very powerful if you know how to use it. If you don't learn to use it properly, then it can be very dangerous, right? So most important thing, that's why I say learn before you earn, right? You don't simply want to go and test something that you don't understand completely, right? You want to make sure you learn the skill and use it to your advantage, right? And these options can really help you generate wealth over the years, okay? Now, let's talk about, we mentioned, we talk about ETF already, right? You basically know what is an ETF is. ETF is a basket of stocks. Now, I'm going to use this ETF called S&P 500 to explain to you, right, what is the difference between stocks and options. So let's say, right, so S&P 500 is an ETF of the top 500 companies, right, in the US, right? The top performing companies in the US are placed in this index called the S&P 500 or SPY, right? Now, during February last year, the market crashed, right? It went down so much, right? From $340, it went almost to $218, right? So this is just until from February to as of March, okay? Now, let's say before the market crash, you didn't know, and you went to buy the stock at somewhere around October, right? You buy 100 shares, you invested $30,000, right? And suddenly in February, the price started to crash. Now, there's only 3 possible outcomes that can happen, right? Number one, right? Let's say I'm just going to use 250 as a round figure. Let's say the price dropped $250, right? Now you have a paper loss of $5,000. Or second scenario, you panic and you sell away the stock, right? You scared it's going to drop and you're going to lose all your money. You panic and you sell away and you have actual loss of $5,000, right? Or the third scenario, you were smart enough, right, actually to buy another 100 shares at $250, making your average price $275. But because since you got 200 shares now, your paper loss is still $5,000, right? So whichever way you look at it, you're still gonna have a loss, right? Now, what happens? And this is what I did, right? This is what I did. I did options on it. When the market crashed, I didn't buy the stocks, right? I did options. And how much capital I used? Instead of 30,000, I only used 1.4K, right? $1,400 or 1,400, right? So if you see there, below there, I used $14 per share. I bought 100 shares. That is 1.4K, right? And within a month, it made me $8,000, right? Profit, right? And that is 470%. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. This doesn't happen all the time in the market. But if you're prepared, can you take advantage of such opportunities, right? Most definitely you can. But the most important thing is you want to be in the market. You want to keep sharpening your knife. You want to be prepared, right? That's what you want to do. When you find such opportunities, you definitely can take them, right? Now, I didn't just stop there, okay? So what happened after April? The market started to recover, right? You're still, let's say now, let's go back to stocks again. The market recovered, and what will potentially happen if you're still holding on to the stocks, right? Again, number one, let's say the share price increased to $370, right? You have a paper gain of $7,000. That means you're still holding on to the stock, you never sell, right? Or second outcome, you have actual gain of $7,000 where you sold away the stocks and you took your profits, right? Or just because you average down and you got 200 shares, now your actual profit is $19,000, right? Now, if you think $19,000 is good, type in good, right? Now, let me tell you, I didn't do any of this, right? What I did was options, right? Again, when the market went down, I made $8,000. When the market was going up, so if you see the time frame, this is from March to June, right? 3 months, right? When the market was going up, I did options again. And how much did I use this time, right? I used 3.6. And within 2.5 months, it made me 5.2K, right? Profits, right? I'm not even talking about this 5.2K is profits on top of the 3.6 I already put in, right? And that was another 145% in returns in just another 2.5 months. Okay. Now, if you think this is insane, right? Then type in insane, right? This kind of returns, right? It's not okay. I don't want it to get. I want to manage your expectations, right? This kind of returns doesn't happen all the time, right? On average, if you do options properly, you can get about 2 to 5% monthly, or even a couple of months you can make about 20 to 30% on a yearly basis, right? Or even 50%, right? But the most important thing is you want to be in the market, you want to be sharpening your knife at the same time, right? You want to be prepared. Okay. And I didn't stop there. I did 3 more times, right? So 2 more times, right? Again, from July to August, another 2K plus, maybe another 2.5, right? Another 100%, right? 3.5, maybe another 3.6, right? From September to January, right? So this is what I did, right? So let's compare, guys. If I invested in stocks, right, my initial capital is $30,000 for 100 shares, and within 15 months, right, it made me $7,000, right? That's 23%. Now, if you think 23% is not bad, type in good, right? But I want to show you something even more powerful, right? Options, right? How much did I use? I used 10,000 accumulated capital. That means all the 4 trades I did combined together, my capital was only 10,800. But the returns I got was over 19,000, right? 87% returns in just 12 months, right? Now, guys, when I tell you my portfolio is looking like this, now ask yourself again, is this impractical or is it possible, right? If you think it's possible, then type in it's possible, right? And I want to share with you this knowledge, right? I want to make sure that you take advantage of this skill set also, okay? Now, let's say if you understanding and knowing this skill, let's say you become slightly more confident, right? Right? And now instead of 10%, you can make 15%, right? You can make 15% annually, right? And you have more confidence, maybe you want to save more, maybe you put $1,000 into your brokerage every month, right? And what does that get you, right? Just by closing the knowledge, right? Understanding, right? Adopting the skill set and just closing the knowledge gap, right? Increasing your returns by 5%, that is already going to make you another $4 million in 30 years when you retire, right? Can you see it, guys? The knowledge gap, right, is very powerful. If you know how to close the gap, your returns, your wealth will grow like crazy, okay? So the same thing again, you can go to work out our numbers, okay? Now, I want to ask you an important question. Do you want to be an ordinary investor or do you want to be an elite investor, right? Ordinary investors, they buy and sell stocks. Elite investors, they buy and sell options. Now, if you want to be elite investor, type in elite investor in the comments. Let me take a look, okay? Okay, now guys, I share with you one of my good returns, which is 470%. How many of you actually want to know my best return, right? That made me 2,000% returns in the last 3 years, right? If you want to know, type in me and I'll share with you, right? This is what happened, right? My best investment ever was in my education. I keep emphasizing again, right? Because I choose to learn, I'm earning such profits, right? So again, my best education back then, right, which I invested to learn this program, this skill set has given me such return over the years, right? And I'm still going to use this skill set for next, 30, 40, 50 years even, right? I'm just going to keep using this skill set, right? But however, just learning that didn't give me the success, right? What actually gave me the success is these three key principles that I used in my life, right, to achieve such a success, right? And I want to share with you what I mean, right? What are these principles and how you can apply it in any areas of your life. And I guarantee if you do so, you will see results, right? It doesn't have to be investing, it can be anything, right? And just like most people, when I started off, I have a reason. I have a reason why I wanted to invest in the first place, because I had a pain point, right? And my reason was my parents, right? My wife or my parents, right? And guys, let me share with you. When I started off, right, I didn't come from very rich. I wasn't born with a silver spoon, or I wasn't come from a well-to-do family, right? I came from very humble beginnings. I came from a very poor family, right? And my parents were always struggling to make their monthly ends meet, and that actually broke my heart, seeing them struggle every month. and I want to do something, right? It was very heartbreaking for me and my sister to see them struggle every single month. Okay, so what did I do? Right, I actually started working when I was 14 years old, right, just to support myself in order not to burden my parents, right. And my mom, being my mom, she always keep telling me, right, study hard, get a good job, right, and work hard, right. What she was trying to do, she was trying to condition me for a rat race, right, which didn't make sense to me, because whatever my parents were doing didn't work out, right. But me being a good son, I listened to her. I went to continue my studies, right. I went to do my bachelor's. However, my parents couldn't support me financially, right. They couldn't support me financially, and what happened, right, as a result, I ended up in debt, right. I worked and paid for my school fees, and even before I go get a proper qualified job into the labor force, right, before I entered the labor force already, I was already in $20,000 debt. Now, at the point of time, $20,000 was like a huge sum for me to settle. I was actually feeling suffocated, right? It felt like it was $2 million, right? I don't know what to do, right? But I know for one thing for sure, I need to do something different. Because if I don't do something different, I'm just going to end up exactly like my parents, trapped in the vicious cycle, right? Which didn't make sense to me, right? Because I already see them go through this, I didn't want to go through this at the same time. Okay. But the problem was, just like most people, right? I was stuck. Now, guys, if any of you right now are stuck financially, right? Type in the comment, right? Type in stuck. Right. And my job here tonight, right, is I want to show you a way out, right? I want to help you get unstuck, right? I'm not here to teach you how to make money, right? I want to empower you to take control of your finances, right? That's what I want to do, right? To take control of your wealth, that's what I want to do. I want to empower you to do so, okay? But here's the thing, guys. I understood one thing, right? For me to get unstuck, I cannot be mixing around with chickens, right? Because if I want to fly the eagles, I need to find the eagles, right? Because what happens if you keep mixing around, you just observe, guys. You will be the average of the 5 people you mix the most with, right? Don't believe me? Go and look around and see who's the 5 people you're mixing with. You'll definitely be the average, right? And I understood this very clearly. So what I do, but I'm not telling you to go cut contacts with your family and friends. Just spend more time with the people who can help you grow your wealth, right? You want to be in their presence as much as possible, right? And I understood this, and I wanted to find these eagles, right? So I set on this journey to find the eagles. At the point of time for me to learn from them, right, my investment was $4,000, right, to learn from them. Right now, guys, I was already in $20,000 debt. Now, if I have told myself, right, $4,000 is a lot, I don't want to take on this debt, what would have happened to me? With all these results would be possible, right? Would I have achieved these results? Would I be here sharing with you, right, on how you can move ahead with your life also, right? All this wouldn't be possible, right? I wouldn't have achieved such results on the market if I told myself, right, that $4,000 is a lot of money, right? But what do I do instead? I choose to focus on the value instead of the price, and that made me such returns over the years, right? I understood this very clearly, right? However, that being said, right, what did I do, right? If so much that, what did I do to get over and attend the course, right? So this is the thing that I did the most craziest thing I ever did in my life, and which I'm actually very proud of it. That I'm happy that I did it, right? For 2 months straight, I decided to make a huge sacrifice, right? I still had my temporary job for 2 months straight. My school and my workplace was like a walking distance, about 20 minutes from my home. So every single day, I used to walk to work, right, for 2 months. And after work, I will go for my school. My classes were at night at a point of time, right? So after I finish my work, I'll walk to my school, right? From my home to my work to my school, right? I'll walk, right? For 2 months straight, I didn't spend any money on transport, right? I just took my water bottle to keep myself full for the entire day, right? By just drinking water and not spending any money on food, right? This is what I did for two months straight. I saved every single penny. I stopped going out to meet my friends, going out spending money. I didn't do any of this for 2 months straight. I took every single penny on my pay and I paid for the investing program. I choose to learn, right? I choose to learn, and that made me eventually it paid off. It paid off for me, and that's what I did, right? I was willing to do whatever you took, right? I was willing to do whatever it took. Now, guys, let me ask you this: how many of you will be willing to do whatever it takes? Right? Type it in. Right? Type it in. Let me see. Type in if you will do willing whatever it takes, and type in me. Type in me. Okay. Now I want to share with you a video. Right? Just watch this video, and I'll explain to you why I share this video with you. Right? Now, guys, why did I want to share with you this video, right? I want you to understand one thing. The moment you're willing to do whatever it takes, right, the universe will reward you, right? Will give you a solution, right? Now, again, I'm going to ask you guys, right? How many of you will be willing to do whatever it takes to change whatever circumstance or situation you are in your life, right? If you will do that, then type in me, right? Type in me. If you will change, you will do whatever it takes to change your life around, right? Type in me. All right, let me see the comments, okay? Now, here's the thing. Doing whatever it takes is not enough, right? You need to be in the right environment with the right people who can nurture you and make you grow, right? Expand beyond what you're already capable of, right? That's what I did. I did the same thing. So I don't just talk about this, right? I applied these things in my life, and it got me this far, right? And this is what I did, right? And of course, I did it consistently, right? Once I learned, I didn't keep it to myself. I keep sharing, and what happened, right? My own skill set became so good that it helped me create wealth over time, right? Now, and am I telling you to do everything that I did? No, right? But I'm telling you all this was possible because I decided to take action, right? And that is what I want you to do, right? I want you to take action so that something will happen positively for you, right? You will never know what it could be, but you'll be surprised the moment you take action, okay? Now, however, that being said, there'll be some people like this, right? Like a fish trapped in a bottle in an ocean, right? They'll be looking around, looking at their friends, family, people being successful, achieving things in life, and all they do is they will stay inside their own cocoon, and then all they do is complain and spread negative and hate, right? Now, I hope nobody here is like that, right? Right? And these are the worst kind of people, right? They also don't want to succeed, and they also, if other people succeed, also they will do something to make them fail, right? These are the worst kind of people. Or ask yourself, or do you want to be like a fish completely free in the ocean, right? That's free to do whatever it is, right? Do you want to be a fish A, right, stuck in a bottle, or do you want to be fish B, completely free in the ocean, right? If you want to be fish B, type in B, right? Type in B. Let me see the comments. All right. Here's the bottom line. This is the bottom line, guys. Same old thinking gives you same old results, and same old results going to give you same old thinking. Because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, right? So if you want different results, you need to do different things. Okay. Now again, do you want to work on money, or you want money? You want money to work for you, right? Again, type it in A or B, right? If you want money to work for you, then type in B, and I'll share with you, right? I'll share with you how, right? Okay. Basically, me and my team, right? We came out, right, with this program called Options Virtual Bootcamp. Now, if you realize tonight I didn't teach you anything technical, right? Why? Right? Because I already told you already. Me teaching you anything technical tonight is not going to be any use of you, any use to you. Why? Because you're not going to go and execute, right? So I don't want to teach you and waste your time by giving you technical stuff when you don't know what to do, right? So I want to expose you to the idea of what is possible, right? And I want to teach you in the class, right? In a proper setting, I want to teach you, right, how you can actually use this skill and grow your wealth, right? Okay, and it doesn't matter you're a beginner or advanced, right? It doesn't matter how the program is tailored, is to make sure whichever spectrum of the either your beginner or advanced is designed to make sure you get results, right? So the dates are, this is going to be dates, these are based on Singapore timing, right? So it's going to be Singapore timing. It's on 26 March, 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 on Friday. It's a Friday evening in Singapore, and Saturday and Sunday is going to be 10 a.m. and 5 p.m., right? This is Singapore timing, right? Is GMT +8, right? So depending on time zone, the time for you will be different, right? But you can take picture of these, or you can take a screenshot of the dates, right? Okay. Now, what will you actually learn, right? So the most important thing is this. No point talking about all the stuff that happened that I've shared with you, right? But most importantly, what are you going to learn? That's the most important thing, right? What will you learn? So number one, day one, I'm going to walk you through the basics of options. This is where I'm going to break it down for you. What is options and how exactly do you use it, and why, and what are the things you should be avoiding, right? I want to talk about this on the day one itself, so you have a rough idea, a clearer picture on what you can expect, right? And the second thing is, it's not only important, right, that you know how to invest, right? The most second thing is, just like if you know how to drive, it's not enough. You need to be comfortable with the vehicle, right? Because imagine if you know how to drive, but I give you a vehicle that you cannot even reach the pedal, how, right? You're not comfortable. Same thing, you want to be familiar with the platform. So on day one itself, I'm going to break it down for you on how you use the platform to your advantage, Okay, how do you use the platform to your advantage? Okay, now I want you to go and open a brokerage account, right, with tdamateur.com if you are in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, or Thailand. But if you're in any other parts of the world, just go to tdamateur.com, right? Just go to tdamateur.com. Okay. On day 2 is where I'm going to share with you the 4 powerful strategies that you can use in whichever way the market moves. In whichever direction market moves, you will use any of these strategies, right? Which I'll teach you in day 4. And of course, day 3, I'm going to teach you technical analysis and how you can use the 2E formula, right, to bring everything together, right? Now, how many of you actually will love to make money even before you trade, right? So even before you place a trade, how many of you actually will love to make money, right? And how you do that is by using the 2E formula, which is something I've developed over time, right, to make sure you trade logically and with a plan, right? And this how it's going to help you in the long term. Okay, but what will you actually gain, right? Of course, you learn this stuff, but what are you gaining in return, right? So number 1, you will learn to profit from all directions. Doesn't matter which way market move, right? You will learn to use the right strategies at the right situation. Okay, and you use technical analysis and charts to your advantage, right? I know some of you, if you see, the charts, maybe you feel very lost, right? You don't know what's happening, right? I want to eliminate all these things. I want to make sure the chart is easy for you to use. Okay. And here's the thing, I want to increase your return per capital while managing your risk. Remember, it's not I share with you, right? When I use stocks, I use $30,000, but the same thing when I did options, my capital was much lesser, but my returns was much higher, right? So that's what I mean by increasing your returns per capital while managing your risk. And the 4th thing, of course, to generate powerful returns even if you have small sum of capital, right? If what would be a good sum to start off with? About $2,000 to $3,000 USD, a bare minimum, right? If you want to go anything lower than that, yes, you also can, but don't expect to make big returns, right? 2-3K, at least you can see some profitable returns. Okay. Now, in order for you to go a full circle, right, to hit the bullseye, there's one thing that you need, right? It doesn't matter what strategy you use, what knowledge you have. Why most people fail when it comes to investing is because they don't master this one thing, right? And that one thing is they don't learn to trade logically. They use too much emotions in the market. When you are emotionally unstable in the market will eat you up alive. This is the reason why you see people making crazy returns in a few trades. Maybe out of 10 trades, 9 trades they make solid returns, and 1 trade they lose everything because greed takes over or fear takes over, right? So what you want to do is you want to trade with minimum emotions as much as possible, right? You want to eliminate emotions as much as possible. You want to trade logically as much as you can, right? That's what I want to do. Okay. And who is this for? If you're a complete beginner, you're like a clean slate like this boy, then best, right? Because why? I can teach you the right things right from the beginning without any problem, right? Second, if you have some knowledge and you are confused, right? It's fine, right? I'll give you clarity, I'll show you direction. Or worse, if you're like this, our good friend here, the leopard, I don't know what he's trying to do, but he got his head stuck, right? So probably, you made some losses, you're probably stuck. Then I'll show you how you can recover your losses and how you actually can move ahead from wherever you are right now, right? However, there's one type of person I don't want in my class, right? And that requirement is, if you think you know it all, please don't come for my class. Please empty your cup, right? Because if your cup is already full, I cannot do anything to fill it up. Because whatever I'm going to do to fill it up, it's going to keep overflowing, right? So you're not going to have any value. So if you want to come for my class, I only ask you to empty your cup and come with open mind, right? So type in open mind, right? Type in open mind, and that's the only requirement I have for you to come for the class, right? So now I want to share with you, one of my students that I coach, right? So he's actually in Singapore. He's actually semi-retired, right? He's about 63 years old, right? And before he met me, he'd been investing for 10 years, and over the 10 years, he actually lost 100 over 1,000, right? And once I start coaching him, within 2.5 months, he actually recovered 60% of his loss in just a short matter of time, right? So I want you to listen to him and what he has to say, right?
Hi, my name is Reshveen. If you're looking for options and coach, look no further. I strongly recommend Suresh. Suresh is a very patient, dedicated, and experienced coach. He makes the lesson very interesting and easy to understand. His strategy is to provide fundamental analysis with option trading. And this method has helped me to better understand the company financial health and pick the right winning stock. Suresh is not only a trainer, but he's also an experienced and seasoned trader with a good track record. So if you want to be successful and profitable in the investing journey, learn and trade with Suresh. Happy trading.
Right, so that is Edwin for you, right? And these are some of my students that I've managed to coach over the years, right? So this lady that first time she made about 3.5K, first time investing in stocks, and this is another of my students. I'm actually very proud of her for one reason, right? Because in COVID, during COVID in Singapore, we were under lockdown, right? Just like most countries, we were under lockdown, and especially the taxi drivers, they were not making anything. So I taught her how to create passive income from the stock market, and what she did, right? She paid forward, right, by giving red packets, right? So in Singapore, red packets basically is like a, you give as you put money inside as a red envelope, and you give it, right, to people during it's a festive thing, right? But you give it. She give it as a charitable thing to all his, to just help them out, right? So she was paying it forward, and that's something I'm really proud of her, right? During COVID, when people were struggling, she was making money and she helping out, right? Exactly what I'm doing right now. Okay. And this is another student, right, of mine. Within 3.5 months, our portfolio has been looking like this, right? How many of you love to see this in your portfolio, right? So many positives, right? Is it 90%, 40%, 11%, 50%, right? There'll be some losses, but you see, it's only like two trades that's been losing money. The rest is all making money, right? So it's like, if somebody tells you 100% you can make money, right, they probably bullshitting you, right? Because there's no 100%, right? But what you can do, you can manage your risk as much as possible, and the upside will take care of itself, right? And that's what I'm actually doing, right? I'm trying to manage your risk. At the same time, I manage your risk, your upside take care of itself, right? And this is another student, right? Within portfolio grew 40-50% overnight, right? Of course, doing this consistently, and the portfolio just shoot up 40-50% overnight, right? So as I say, when the opportunity comes, you will just need to be prepared, okay? And this is the class that I've done previously. Like some of my students, you can see over 5 rating, most of them are 5.5, right? Maybe some 4s here and there. But you can see, okay, I'm not going to talk more about this. You can definitely go read it yourself, right? But most importantly, right, if you feel my pace so far is good, right? If you can understand, you can listen, if you can comprehend, you can follow so far, right? This is exactly what I want to do in the class, right? I want to take it slow, so make sure you learn and understand, right? I don't want to go through something fast and there's not any value to you. So I want to go and make sure I'll take it slow. I'll make sure you learn and you can execute, right? That's my only focus. Okay. And again, to summarize everything, what will you get? Of course, number one, I'm going to teach you the basis of options. Very important. Key fundamental strategies. Okay. Learn to profit from all directions. Simplify charts and technical analysis to work for you. Most importantly, also to use the platform to your advantage. You know what you're doing, what you're handling with, right? And of course, make good profits even with small capital. And most importantly, to trade logically, not just using your emotions, right? Very important. Okay, this is the syllabus of the class again, right? On day 3, right, I'm going to give you your options criteria checklist, right? And all you have to do is refer to this, right? After the class, you just need to refer this. Don't need to crack your head trying to remember what I taught you, right? You have to just refer this and constantly keep placing your trades based on that. Okay. And how much is this worth, right? I initially paid 4,000 for this, but as of today, right, it's not gonna be that, right? I'm going to give you $4,000 discount, right? $4,000 discount, so the cost is only going to be 247, and because it's done virtually, right, I can do it at a cost price for you guys, right? So it's only going to be 247 USD, right? That's practically 67 cents a day, You see at home also, you breathe the air or drink the water also, you're going to be probably spending that much, right? So this is bare minimum already, right? So I'm doing this to help you. So it's only going to be 247 USD, right? It's a skill that you can use for your entire lifetime. And all you need to do is you just make one profitable trade. The cost is already paid for itself, right? So the cost is already paying for itself, right? All you need is one good trade. You already earned the cost fee. Okay. So here's the thing, right? I'm just going to put out the sign up link there. So whoever wants to go and sign up, you can go to the link, right? You can use the QR code to scan, right? I won't leave it there for 10 seconds, but I'm not done yet, guys. Whoever is the first few to sign up, I'm going to make something special for you, right? I'm going to throw in something. I'm going to throw 3 bonuses. So I guarantee if you're fast enough, you will not miss this, right? If you're not fast enough, then probably you're going to lose out, okay? The fastest fingers win, okay? 3 bonuses. My first bonus is going to be this, right? I'm going to do a free 1-hour coaching call, right? I'm only going to do it for the first 5 people, right? It's going to be a 1-hour coaching call, right? I guarantee nobody ever out there does this, right? Because I really want to help you even before I come for class. I want to make sure you get started with the right frame. So I want to go and do this, right? Usually when people want me to do this for them, I usually charge about 750 Sing dollars, right? SGD, so about 750, right? And I'm going to do this fee for the first 5 who sign up, right? I want to make sure I give you a direction, give you a plan, and I just want you to just invest blindly, right? I want to make sure you have a direction, have a target, have a bullseye you want to work towards too, right? And you make your investing more meaningful, right? And the second thing is I'm going to throw in a 1-for-1 special bonus. That means anybody that is with you tonight, right? That's not in this workshop as of now, you can bring one more person completely for free. And how much is that? That bonus is already worth 427, right? It's already worth the entire cost fee itself. So you can bring one more person completely for free, right? And this is only going to be available for the first 10 minutes after this, right? Only for the first 10 minutes. If you come after that, then you're not going to get this, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm not just going to teach you, all right? I'm also going to give you the fish. So in the class, I'm going to share with you 10 stocks that you can immediately start trading or practicing on, right? Straight after the class, right? Now, guys, if you think this value is insane, right, then don't hold back. Hurry up and go and get it, right? Right. Again, guys, I have come to the end. Okay, I'm just going to summarize. Just going to share one last message with you, right? So again, everything in your life is a reflection of choices you make. Again, as I mentioned to you already, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, right? So don't do that. If you want different results, you need to make different choices in life, right? Unfortunately, some of us, hopefully none of you, right? But some people, they will choose to go back to the rat race, right? Running around in the circles, finding for the next best solution, right? And never getting anywhere, right? What happens as a result? Either they get stuck or their lives become stagnant or things get worse, right? So what do I mean by this, right? So I'm going to use this example to explain to you in a very simple way as possible, right? This thing called a single income, single identity thing, right? Imagine they did an experiment for mouse. They give the mouse all the food it needs, right? Put it in the jar. And what happened over time? The mouse just keep eating until the rice, right? And it got stuck in the jar, right? Now, if you are comfortable at this point of time, I'm telling you, you are in a worse situation than anybody else, right? If somebody's uncomfortable right now, they are in a better position than you. If you think you're comfortable right now, I'm telling you, you are in a dangerous spot compared to anybody who is uncomfortable right now, right? So if you're comfortable, this is mainly for you, okay? You can choose to plant a seed today, and you and your loved one can sit in the shit later on, right? Very simple, right? What you're going to do today. As of today, I give you opportunity. Whether if you already know it's undervalued, what are you going to do about it, right? For me, I choose to eliminate the rat race, right? And so I'm just going to put everything down there, right? As a summary, right? So I'm just going to put it there. So if any questions, right, feel free to ask me, right? So, okay, guys, I'm done with this. So I'm just going to leave there for another 2 more minutes. Anymore, you can take a picture of this, copy the link, whatnot, right? And that's it. So I'm done. I've shared with you this. I give you the opportunity, right? So you can go ahead and sign up if you want to, okay? So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen as of now.
Thank you so much, Suresh, for what you shared. It was so powerful. And I have been to many trainings, people who are teaching how to do stocks and everything, but the simplicity and the clarity you put in, okay, made it so achievable. I mean, yes. It was understandable. Even when you went into some details, a little bit explaining, I was saying, this makes sense. Okay, now I've got the compounding. Okay, now I'm going to get the link and I'm going to play some numbers, because until I play some numbers, that's when you say, okay, wow, this is the real eighth wonder of the, as they call it, compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. Okay, so Resh, thank you so much to have brought your business partner with us. You are muted, Resh.
Yo, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear that. So the link is still right there. If you've got anything to say, Resh, this was really powerful.
Yeah, so I've got one thing to say, right? So again, in the end of the day, the success of the students is the most important thing, right? And the simplicity, doing things in a very simple manner to make sure we remove the complexity of it all, I think is the most important thing to achieve serious, solid results, right? So again, Suresh has actually grown up. He's actually mastered his entire skill, and right now we're actually sharing and teaching the skill to as many people as possible. So again, guys, if you want to get started in your journey in investing in options, then this would be a very, very good option for sure. Right? So yep, the link is bit.ly/OVB21. If you have any questions at all, feel free to shoot it down in the comment section. We'll be more than happy to answer.
Yeah, and I have a question. These 3 days, because most people will watch the recording later on. In these 3 days, are these 3 days enough for somebody to never done stocks, never done trading, never done anything? Is all these 3 days, are they enough to get on starting and getting on your own path?
So if you ask me, is this enough for them to get started? Is more than enough, right? So what am I going to do in the class? I'm going to make it as simple as possible. I'm going to break it down in steps. I'm going to give them very clear instructions what to do, and to make everything easier, I'm going to give them a checklist at the end of the day. So even after the class, they don't have to crack their head what is being taught. They just have to refer to the checklist. But I want to teach them first how to use the checklist when it all makes sense to them and just look at it, right? So it's definitely more than enough for them to get started. However, if they want to take it to the next level, then they need additional support, right? Which I will share in the class. But for them to get started, this is more than enough. Okay. However, I also understand the class is happening next weekend, and probably some people will watch it later on. So even if they can't attend for the March class, we also have a May class, which is going to be on 28th to 30th May. So they still can sign up and still go for the May class.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much. And what has shocked me, but obviously guys have been doing it, and one of the reasons why Mary Buffett chose you guys for leading the online Buffett school, it's probably because the simplicity of how you can deliver the message. So what you guys did today was really, really, really powerful. So for all of you who are watching right now live, or all of you who are watching the recording, please make sure you click on the link. Just go and see. And as Suresh said, if you can't make it for next weekend, no problem. Sign it right now, because you can take advantage of the bonus, and then the team will see how to put you for the next session in May, where we will have more time. And thank you so much, Resh, and thank you so much, Suresh, for what you guys have shared. This is really important. This is really powerful, because if you have a strong why, and in this why you want to get out of the ordinary that's going on, let me tell you one thing. Right now, what is stacking the world is coronavirus. We don't know what's going to be tomorrow. You need to take care of your own economy. Don't focus and don't try to figure out, what's happening in the government, in the mayor, in my municipality, in my council. No, focus on what's going on with your own economy. You need to graduate as your own minister of your finances personally, and you've got the key. Okay, and you've got the best people that can teach it to you in an easy, simple way. And one of the things that I remember always is that complexity is the enemy of execution. So I'm so surprised and I'm so excited that it is so easy and so simple. Okay, and definitely you can take action. But now they have presented it. They have given you this amazing opportunity. Now it's your turn to choose what you have to do. All right. And once again, thank you so much, Resh, for the interview, to have brought your business partner to explain us this amazing opportunity. And I believe this is just the beginning, because sooner or later we will have you back again, because I believe that your knowledge, what you have learned in all this time, is so much. Still so much more you can give us. So thank you once again, Resh. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Suresh, for your time. Thank you for the value that you have added to our audience. And we will see you in the next interview and the next workshop that surely we are going to plan and prepare together. For all of you who are still in right now, click on the link, and Resh with his team, they're going to be there to supply and support you. Resh, would you like just to address one single word?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, guys, I just want to share one thing, and that's one thing which is very, very important. If you do plan to go down this path of investing, trading, for example, one of the things that is very, very important is to get good education, is to actually properly learn and execute, right? That's the most important thing, right? If you think education expensive, try ignorance, right? Like, you don't want to be ignorant. You want to know what is involved. Okay, just to be very, very frank, it's not a easy ride. It's there's a lot of learning to do. There's ups and there's downs, and so hey, it's important to learn from the right people and to actually get guidance from a good community as well. And that's exactly what IWC will offer: investing certainty. The entire bootcamp will offer you great clarity and good certainty as well to make sure you place your trades in the right manner so that you actually profit consistently, right? So that's the most important thing. And so, hey, we look forward to welcoming you. And next weekend, it's going to be an amazing weekend. Let's learn, let's grow, and let's get better together.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Wish you a good night or probably a good morning.
It's
Resh, you've got a huge weekend with Tony Robbins. So have fun with that. Enjoy it. And take care, guys. Thank you so much. This was just the beginning. Thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of the night. And stay safe. Stay strong. Love you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.